How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Rangers Rundown. The Rangers have put together their first two-game winning streak of the season. Finally, 10 games into the season, they were finally able to put two wins together back-to-back, and I'm feeling good. I won't say great, but I'm feeling good about the Rangers moving forward. They seem to be finding some chemistry between the lines and the players. There seems to be some energy moving forward, regardless of all of the drama that's been happening around the injuries and DeAngelo. The team put together a pretty good defensive game, and they were able to beat a team that they have no business beating. So let's talk about it. Shesterkin was in net, which was surprising because we just heard Quinn say a couple days ago that he was going to just alternate the goalies. One game Shesterkin's in, the next game it's Georgiev. Then Shesterkin, Georgiev. And now Shesterkin's playing his second game in a row. This could have something to do with, Georgiev's, whatever happened between him and DeAngelo. Or it could be the fact that Shesterkin played a great game last game. And, you play the hot goalie. And that's just how this league works. And it's good Shesterkin was in net because look at this. Would this have happened if Georgiev was in net? We don't know. Maybe not. But Shesterkin was in there and they ended up winning. Libor Hajek was called up to fill out the defense because we have a bunch of injured defensemen. And he actually had a decent game tonight. I was happy for him because he's at the part of his career with the Rangers where he has to step up and say, you need to keep me on this team because his window is closing. But tonight, I think, was a decent step forward for him. He showed he could play decently defensive-minded hockey against a pretty good team that's in your face the whole game. Kakko is back. He's off COVID protocol. And I felt like throwing this on there because I think it's absolutely hilarious whenever a professional athlete does an interview, like before a game, in the middle of a game, or after a game, because 99% of professional athletes are not public speakers, and they don't know how to have a conversation with another human being on TV. But Boteto was great. I enjoyed listening to him talk. He hasn't had a great NHL career. He did score tonight, though. Good for that guy. We'll get to that later. But I think he would make a funny announcer because he has the personality for it. He was able to have a conversation and hold my attention while he's having it. So good for him. I felt like giving him a little bit of a shout out. The lines tonight, Kreider, Zibanejad, Buchnevich, Panarin, Strome, Kakko, Lafreniere, Howden, DiGiuseppe, Lemieux, Rooney, Gauthier, and then defense pairs Lindgren, Fox, Miller, Trouba, and then Hajek and Boteto on that third pair, a pair we haven't seen yet this year, but it actually turned out pretty well. So moving forward, this could end up being the six players, and, Smith rotates in with those other two, and we say goodbye to DeAngelo forever. So here we go. First period. 1:41 in. Strome scores a goal. It was Fox from the point. It was a deflection. And this Panarin got an assist on that. And tonight would be another 4-game point streak for Panarin. He had a 4-game point streak. And then he had a game where he didn't have any. And now he has another 4-game point streak. So he has scored a point in 8 of the last 9 games. So he's not scoring as many goals as he was last year, but he's still putting up points. He's helping the team win. I'm happy. 4:47, Dowd takes a holding penalty. And Zibanejad, another one-timer stop. This guy cannot score on the power play. When he finally scores on the power play, we're all just going to go insane. He has 1 goal on the season. 10 games in. Zibanejad, the Zibanejad from last season, has 1 goal in 10 games. He is on pace for 5.5 goals this season. Ouch. The first power play was on the ice for about 1:15. Then the second unit came out, and Lemieux is still on that second unit, which I think is pretty cool. He's getting more chances up in the lineup. 8 minutes in, shots are 9-1 for the Rangers. And just over halfway through the period, 10:07, huge save by Igor. He sprawls out of his crease to cover it. It was a scramble, but it was nice to see. And the announcers had said it once or twice. Apparently, Washington has cap issues right now. So they had 11 forwards and 7 defensemen dressed for the game tonight. So they were rotating 11 forwards instead of the usual 12. So people were getting double shifted every now and then, and Ovechkin had a double shift in this first period, and that's when they said, oh yeah, they only have 11 forwards. 11:41, Howden had a breakaway chance. It was a great pass up the middle of the ice from Trouba, but Howden missed. 14:32, Zibanejad would take a tripping penalty, and that wouldn't be his only penalty of the night. Zibanejad took 2 penalties tonight, and we're not used to that this season. I think these are some of the first penalties he's taken this season. He's usually pretty good defensively, but he takes a tripping penalty. Then they they put up the percentages for special teams. Washington is second in the league on the power play, 40.9%, almost 41% on the power play this season for Washington, and they didn't score a single power play goal. The Rangers penalty kill, I don't know what the exact number is, but after tonight, they haven't let up a goal in like 17 chances. The past 17 times the Rangers have been shorthanded, they stopped it. The penalty kill has been perfect the last 17 times, which is great. Keep pucks out of the net. Like, this is great. I was happy to hear it. And then the rest of the period, nothing really worth mentioning happened. End of the first period, Rangers are doing a great job getting sticks in passing lanes and just blocking shots, not letting Washington set up, because they crash the offensive zone every single time. They don't slow down for you. And there was a lot of really good stick plays from the Rangers tonight. It was very encouraging to see. And after one period, there's already animosity towards Tom Wilson, but I think that's everybody's default mode in this league. He's one of those guys that people just, don't really like that much. Going into the second period, good early save by Igor. He's still standing strong. He's keeping pucks out of the net for now. 5:11, Hathaway takes a tripping penalty. First power plays on the ice for 1:40. And they're in the offensive zone for 1:40, and they get 0 shots. Like, as good as this power play is with passing and just setting up and cycling and keeping the puck in the net, they just can't seem to score as much as we would like. I'll say that. They do score, but not as much as it looks like they should if you watch the power play. If you watch the power play, it looks like a power play that scores all the time. But they don't. It's frustrating. But that's okay, because they won, so we're fine. 8:39, Di Giuseppe, he had just like a cheeky little, it looked like just an innocent shot, but it ended up between the pads of Vanacek, and he was like looking behind him, like making sure it didn't go in. So I paused for a second. I was like, did he sneak that in? But he didn't, unfortunately. And then 9:15, Boteto scores his 3rd goal of his career. This is his 3rd goal and his first goal in 112 NHL games. The last time he scored a goal in the NHL was November of 2017. It's been over 3 years since this dude scored a goal in the NHL. I was so happy for him. He came around the net, and it just looked like he was going to pass up the boards, but he kind of came back in. He took the middle of the ice, little backhand shot right over. It was so good. So good. And Rooney had an assist on that goal, so he now has a 3-game point streak as well. He is showing Coach Quinn that he deserves to stay in this lineup. He is producing from the 4th line, which is what this team needs, because some of our top 6 forwards are not producing as well as we want them to. So it's nice that the bottom 6 guys are putting in the work. 10:35, Buchnevich almost had a goal. Almost. He would score tonight to break his goal drought. It was an empty net, but it still counts. It's still a goal. 10:42, Zibanejad would take a slashing penalty. And on this power play for Washington, Ovechkin hit Igor in the jaw with his slap shot, and he was shaken up for a second. He had his shoulder up, and he was still trying to play, because like that clocked him right in the jaw. He was fine. He stayed in. Penalty kill still solid. Right after the penalty ended, Vanacek not very good at handling the puck, apparently, because he gives it away to Strome. Strome has an completely open net, and he misses it wide. I'm sure he wasn't expecting to be gifted the puck from the other goalie, so, you know, I get why he missed, but still, you have an open net. Like, in this wouldn't be the first time tonight Strome misses an open net. So, even though he scored twice, he could have scored 4 times. So, yeah. And then we go on 14:31. Panic. High sticking penalty, and then 16:40. Too many men on the ice for the Rangers, and Lafreniere would serve that penalty. Just after that penalty expires, about 17 seconds after that penalty is over, Hagelin would score a goal. It was a fluky goal. It wasn't, you know, anything that he could replicate. It bounced up and up, so it was a shot into the slot kind of crease area, and it just kind of ping-ponged around and fluttered over Igor's shoulder. He tried to get it with his glove, but he missed, and it just kind of fluttered behind him and into the goal. So the Capitals finally scored towards the end of that second period, and they make it 2-1. And then in 1950, Howden would take a slashing penalty, which would, and that power play would extend into the third period for Washington. In that last minute, Washington was pushing. They were pushing. That goal just reinvigorated their entire lineup, and they were pushing. I was getting scared. And I'm thinking to myself, they need to kill off that penalty to start the third period just to kind of erase some of that momentum that Washington has. But Washington starts on the power play. Penalty kill still perfect in the game, and they would be for the rest of the game. And I'm thinking to myself, they need an insurance goal. Like 2-1 is not going to cut it against a team like the Capitals. And then sure enough, 7:55, Strome would score a goal. It was a Panarin Strome 2-on-1. It was just tic-tac-toe, bam, back of the net. It was so satisfying to see. Strome gets his second goal of the game. A couple minutes later, 11:01, Ovechkin would score a very nice goal. Very nice goal. It was right off the face-off. He comes around and he just freaking rips it right over Igor's shoulder. It was just face-off, shot in the net. It was a designed play that they've run hundreds of times, and this time it worked. So now it's 3-2. Yes, 11:59. Brendan Dillon would take a tripping penalty, and then the same time, I forgot to write it on the board. Dillon would take a tripping penalty, and it was, if you watch it at full speed, it looks like it hurt Kakko. Like, he stuck his leg out and hit the leg of Kakko, and Kakko went down. Like, it was almost knee on knee. It was almost very scary, but it was lower leg on lower leg. And they gave Kakko an embellishment penalty. Like, no. Dillon stuck his leg out and tripped Kakko, and they gave him an embellishment penalty. And everybody was like, what the hell are you looking at, refs? Like, I don't know. So it was a 4-on-4. Vrana hit the post. That dude is fast. He zipped into the offensive zone, and he ripped one right off the post. I got so nervous. About 3 minutes left in the game. Howden almost scored on a good defensive play by Di Giuseppe. Made a defensive play, brought the puck into the zone, made a phenomenal pass to Howden, but Howden couldn't tuck it away. About 1:40 left in the game. Washington pulls their goalie. And then Strome, he has a wide open chance at the empty net for the hat trick. A hat trick empty net goal, and he misses completely misses the empty net. I'm like, do you not want a hat trick? That's the easiest way you're going to get a hat trick, and he missed it. And I thought, if the Capitals score because Strome missed an empty net, I don't care that he scored 2 goals. But at 19:33, Buchnevich would score an empty net goal, ending his goal drought. I don't think he scored a goal in like the second game of the year, and he hasn't scored one since, or something like that. Third game of the year. He's on like a 7-game goal drought. So it was nice to see him get one. Rangers are up 4-2. And then after the game is over, there's it gets a little chippy, and people, find a dancing partner. And then Rooney and Dillon actually get into a fight. And this is, again, Rooney loses the fight because Dillon's a big dude. But, he's showing the team, like, he deserves to stay in this lineup. He's three-game point streak. He's willing to fight people out of his weight class. Like, he wants to be on this team. And as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, I see no reason to bump him back down to the taxi squad. It was a good game. Shots 31 to 33 in favor of the Capitals. Face-off percentage still under 50%. But if you can win a game and not win more than half of the face-offs, fine. It's better than last game's face-off percentage. At least they're close to 50. Power play went 0 for 3. Hits 20 to 17 in favor of the Rangers. Blocks 18 to 9 also in favor of the Rangers. The trivia question of the night: who holds the single season record for goals by an American-born Ranger? I'll give you a second. Again, I didn't know the answer. Common theme. It is Mark Pavelich. He scored 37 goals in the 82-83 season. So he holds the New York Rangers record for most goals in a season by an American-born player. It was a great defensive game for the Rangers. I mean, too many penalties, but defensively they played really well. Didn't really let Washington set up that many high-quality chances. It was really nice to see. First two-game win streak of the season for him. Panarin, Strome, Rooney, Boteto, DiGiuseppe, Shesterkin all had great games. Lafreniere, until he served this penalty towards the end of the second period, I had completely forgotten he was on the team. Like, the announcers didn't say his name once. He wasn't a part of any productive play. Like, he was invisible tonight. And I checked the stats. He had 12 and a half minutes of ice time tonight. And I noticed him twice. Like, he's obviously not a bust because it's only 10 games into his rookie year. So, like, I'm not even going to talk about that. And I hate when people say that. You see first overall pick, he's only played 10 games. Oh, he's a bust. It's like, relax. It's his rookie year. But I'm just saying, he didn't have a good game. Next game is Monday. So the game on Saturday against New Jersey is postponed because New Jersey is covered in COVID. So the next game we will see is Monday night at MSG against the Islanders. We get to play the Islanders. First time we see them since the back-to-back shutouts for both teams, games 1 and 2 of the season. So that should be fun. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next rundown.